WREG in Memphis. This is News Channel 3 at 10.
Breaking news is first on News Channel 3 at 10. Thank you for joining us. I'm Elise Preston. In the wake of the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil, tonight, Americans across the country are standing together in the face of fear and hate. This evening, 50 souls, sons and daughters, fathers and mothers, are absent from Florida homes. Their lives were snuffed out early this morning when a gunman opened fire at a gay nightclub in Orlando. Tonight, we'll have complete coverage of the Orlando massacre, including a focus on how prepared Mid-South law enforcement is in the event that a tragedy on this scale happens here. But first, let's examine what we know so far. Investigators say Omar Mateen entered the crowded Pulse Club around 2 a.m. this morning with an AR-15 assault rifle and started firing. Officials say Mateen called 911 more than 20 minutes into his rampage. In that call, Mateen pledged his allegiance to ISIS and mentioned the Boston bombers. When officers arrived on the scene, they say they encountered a hail of gunfire, forcing Mateen back inside the club. That's when investigators say Mateen took hostages and barricaded himself inside. It took nearly 3 hours for police to break down a door with an armored vehicle, triggering a violent firefight that killed Mateen.
I still think that I'm gonna wake up and everything's gonna be normal, but it's not. This is what happened. There is no going back.
So hard to hear those witness accounts. More than 50 people are wounded, and family and friends of the victims are still trying to find out information on loved ones. At this hour, the FBI is trying to uncover any terrorist links to the gunman. The FBI first suspected Mateen of being an ISIS sympathizer in 2013. They said Mateen worked as a private security guard. FBI agents searched Mateen's home in Fort Pierce, Florida today for terrorist ties. While Mateen himself was an American citizen, his parents are Afghan nationals. Mateen's father once ran for president of Afghanistan and in the past praised the Taliban. His father also told reporters that his son had become angry in the past when he saw two men kissing. Officials say Mateen was organized and well prepared in his attack. Tonight, his ex-wife is speaking out. She was married to Mateen for just 4 months back in 2009. She said Mateen was bipolar, unstable, and abusive.
When he would get in his tempers, he would express hate toward things, toward everything. So in that respect, yeah. But it was at the moments when you would see his emotional instability and turning totally different.
Now, she believes the real cause behind Mateen's attack is mental illness. The terror attack is now front and center of the political stage. As Juliana Goldman shows us, the tragedy has made national security the focus for the race of the White House.
At the White House and at government buildings today, flags were lowered to half staff, on order from President Obama, who declared the Orlando massacre an act of terror and an act of hate.
This is a sobering reminder that attacks on any American, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation, is an attack on all of us. And no act of hate or terror will ever change who we are or the values that make us Americans.
The worst mass shooting in U.S. history immediately reignited heated political debates over terrorism and gun control. Presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump reiterated his call to ban Muslims from entering the U.S., even though Omar Mateen was born in New York. And in a statement, Trump criticized the president, saying he disgracefully refused to even say the words radical Islam. For that reason alone, he should step down. If Hillary Clinton, after this attack, still cannot say the two words radical Islam, she should get out of this race for the presidency. Neither Obama nor Clinton were ready to link the attack to Islamic extremism. In her statement, Clinton said, "We need to redouble our efforts to defend our country from threats at home and abroad." And she told the LGBT community that we will keep fighting for your right to live freely, openly, and without fear. Republican Senator Jeff Flake said, in this case, there doesn't need to be an either-or with terrorism or guns.
I think that debate can and should go on, as well as the debate on how to best protect us against those who are inspired or funded or directed by international terrorists.
Closer to home, there has been an outpouring of support for the victims of the Orlando massacre. These are pictures from earlier from a vigil in Cooper Young. That's where WREG's Michaelantonio joins us live. Michael, here in Memphis, people are wondering if our police agencies would be equipped to handle an attack like this. You took those concerns to a Mid-South law enforcement expert who's in Florida right now in the middle of the chaos. What did he have to say?
Well, at least I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, I want to tell you that Memphis police tell me that they have not received any credible threats against the LGBT community here. Still, they're keeping a close eye as things continue to uncover and unfold in Florida. It may have happened more than 800 miles away.
And I have met people who were probably killed.
But somehow, Mid-Southerners feel connected.
But I could have had friends there years ago. I could have been there myself years ago.
The Memphis lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community stood in solidarity with the 50 people killed at an Orlando gay club.
This didn't just happen to Orlando. This happened to our whole country.
As people gathered Sunday night, so did police. Officers stood guard on Cooper Avenue.
LGBT people are not safe.
Cops not taking any chances, hoping to make this area as secure as possible.
Obviously, I feel the camaraderie with the officers involved in this because I've been involved in situations like this in the past.
C.T. Freeman is a former Mid-South investigator, currently in Orlando with family. He says Shelby County is equipped to handle a terror attack if it hit our area.
Memphis and Shelby County have a really good tactical unit, and the problem is that there's some situations that are not negotiable. You wait until someone does something like this, and then you react to it. That's the hard part about this.
And as a community continues to heal and stand strong.
We will not live in fear. We're not going back to living in the closet and not being who we are, living freely as we are.
Many hope our officers are learning from this tragedy.
I really do think that our MPD will learn from this situation and will, in fact, be more prepared if something like this strikes Memphis.
Now, Mayor Jim Strickland actually came out here today to speak to the crowd. He also just wanted to show that he had their backs in this community as well. Now, if you take a look right here behind me, the rainbow flag outside of the Memphis Gay and Lesbian Community Center is flying at half-staff, again, to support and to stand in solidarity with those victims who lost their life in Orlando. Reporting live in Cooper Young tonight, Michaelantonio, WREG, News Channel 3.
All right, thanks, Michael. If you want to help the victims in Orlando, we have a way for you to do that on our website at WREG.com. There you can donate to victims or get the number to call a special hotline that will put you in contact with people on the ground in Orlando. Just head to the WREG homepage and click on this story.
Exiting the weekend on a very warm and muggy note across the Mid-South, and as of News Channel 3 at 10, we see little, if anything, taking place across the Mid-South where it comes to showers and thunderstorms. They're still out there, though. Back to our west and our south, new storm systems swinging in from the southern plain states is going to be giving more chances of showers and thunderstorms, and some of this activity might survive into the southern parts of the viewing area, even though it seems to be diminishing pretty rapidly at this point in time. Temperature is very much on the warm and muggy side. Again, we're back in the high 70s for some of the warmest numbers out there. Fractions of an inch of rainfall higher in some locations, which did lead to a flash flood warning earlier this evening. Temperatures should be relatively stable for the next few hours, dropping only a couple of degrees. And as we head into very early tomorrow morning, News Channel 3 Daybreak, Todd Demers with your forecast, very much on the warm and muggy side once again. The rest of the week, the last week of spring, we'll have the forecast for you coming up in just a bit on News Channel 3 at 10. Elise?
All right, thanks, Austin. Well, the massacre in Orlando was on the minds of many golfers here for the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Our Glenn Carver spoke to two pro golfers who call Orlando home. We want to get back to that breaking news out of Florida. 50 people are dead after a gunman fired round after round into a packed gay nightclub. WREG's Glenn Carver spoke with two pro golfers in town who call Orlando home.
Memphis may be some 700 miles away from Orlando, but several golfers here at Southwind this weekend are hurting from the tragic events that took place over the past couple of days in a city very close to the PGA Tour. A number of professional golfers live in Orlando, including past FedEx St. Jude champion Brian Gay and Tour veteran Charles Howell III. Orlando also hosts one of the PGA Tour's bigger tournaments, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Last night's mass shooting at a downtown Orlando dance club that claimed 50 lives came just 2 days after the shooting murder of a rising singer following a concert in Orlando. Golf may appear to be a world away from the ugly realities that exist, but the recent tragedies in Orlando have certainly hit home with many people on the PGA Tour.
A really rough weekend in Orlando to wake up both days to really bad news. That was really sad, and our thoughts go out to all the families and the city of Orlando.
It's sad. I mean, it's unbelievable that somebody would do that. But you know, my girlfriend lives in Orlando, and you know, I mean, it's scary. It really is. I feel for the families and the people involved, and I mean, it truly is sad.
Early this morning, PGA Tour officials started putting together these black ribbons to honor the victims of the mass shooting in Orlando. At Southwind, Glenn Carver, WREG News Channel 3.
A lot going on here too. Not, what they're facing, but weather-wise.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a busy weekend. Nothing severe going on, and quiet right now on First Defense Doppler 3 radar. The Shelby County metro area did see its share of showers and thunderstorms today, but once again, we did not see anything in the way of severe weather outside of a flash flood warning for parts of Tennessee and back into Mississippi. We do have a little bit more activity down to our south and west, and it is moving up this direction, but it's not holding together that well, so we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms into the southwest viewing area south and west of the metro, but not that much out there. 79 degrees St. Francis in Cordova, high of 94. 94 likewise the high at Cross County High School, Cherry Valley, Arkansas, 1 degree below 80 right now. Very warm and toasty out there this evening. 76 degrees Holly Springs Middle School with a high of 91. Rest of the evening into overnight, heading up into News Channel 3 daybreak. More chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms could rumble their way through the area as we go into very early tomorrow morning around commute time, and then it's going to continue that way off and on. Showers and thunderstorms developing, drifting, collapsing, starting all over again through the hottest part of the day, upper 80s to lower 90s. Plenty of humidity out there, so a very warm forecast heading into the rest of the last full week of springtime. And the forecast is going to look similar pretty much every single day. Monday, Tuesday, which is Flag Day, Wednesday, Thursday, and right on into Friday with temperatures back in the lower to mid 90s. A little bit not quite so hot by the time we hit next weekend, but the chances of showers and thunderstorms will remain. They will be minimal, though. And as we head toward next Monday, that'll be the first day of summer for 2016. Temperatures between here and there, definitely not spring-like out there with numbers back in the lower to mid-90s. Tons of humidity, and those temperatures out there, that's going to make things really uncomfortable, especially for working or exercising outdoors. So drink your water this week, kids. You are going to need it.
Man, I see it, and then I think, well, we are hitting mid-June, so.
It's about right on time, more or less, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for News Channel 3 at 10. But stay tuned for our FedEx St. Jude highlights with Mike, Sadie, and Glenn Carver. Have a great night.